It's Adan Carriaga. Adan is a story. Oh, does he have a story? It'll put tears in your eyes. Met him at the Boys Club, where we grew up together. I was so fortunate to be the director at the Old Town Boys Club, and he was a great athlete at Albuquerque High. Tough, grew up tough, down there by the sawmill in Old Town. But man, could he play, and man, could he study. I mean, student athlete. And then later becomes one of our country's most profound, most talented artists. You have to see some of the work he does. We bring up Adan Carriaga right now, and this is a great reunion with Adan. And there he is right there. Man, tall, 6'4", talented rebounder. And back in the days at the Old Town Boys Club, we played until 1 a.m. sometimes. And him, and he'll give you the list of great names that played with him. All of them became Bulldog stars for the great Jim Holzman. Adan, what a pleasure to have you with Henry T today.
Good to see you, man. You have more hair than I do.
Prove it. No, you better not. Oh, my goodness. That's what you call proof in the pudding.
That's right.
Hey, congratulations on all your success. Your great high school basketball career with the Bulldogs, New Mexico Military Institute. Man, you've been through it all. Tell us the story. How did you do it? Who inspired you to be so successful?
Just, I think I've always just had a simple faith in God, and just wanted to do the right thing and just have fun at life, you know. And in the area that I grew up in the sawmill, I was very blessed with the athletes that lived just locally, just right around me, right? Like on 13th Street, Paul Soto lived right down the street in Old Town, Glenn Lucero, and then down here on 8th Street was the Maestas, Tommy Maestas and Steve Maestas, and you know, Milo lived down there too. You know, Johnny Tapia lived right there too. You know, and so it was just at that time there was just a lot of athletes in this area, and so our recreation, a lot of us didn't have a lot, you know, and so our recreation was to go to the boys club and to go to Wells Park at night, you know, or both, you know, sometimes both. And Coach Halsman was probably the most inspiring person for all of us. You know, I was dunking when I went to Washington, Washington Junior High at that time. You know, I could dunk it already. When I was 5'8" and I could dunk it. And I was playing down there at Welk one day, and Coach Halsman was down there. He would always be down there scouting. And he said, what school are you gonna go to? And I said, well, I'm gonna go to Albuquerque High. I didn't even know who Coach Halsman was. I never met the guy before, right? It was this old guy with a flat top, right? And he goes, I'm Jim Halsman. I coach at Albuquerque High School. I go, oh wow, you know, that's cool. I didn't know nothing about him at all. I was just a little boy. And he goes, you know, son, you have some raw talent and some good coaching, and if you pay attention and if you're coachable, you could probably play some college basketball. And that's the first person that ever talked to me like that. I was like, college basketball? I thought I was going to be a block layer, you know, like my brothers. You know, I said, I'll probably be a block layer, you know. But then David Romo was down the street, and Roscoe lived off of Second Mountain Road. So, and Romo was downtown. And so whenever we play, you know, they were big guys as tall as me. So we always have to guard each other. And we became very, very good friends, you know. Yeah. And I didn't play that much at Albuquerque High. I could have done a lot better, but I hurt my leg. I was in a car accident and I broke my leg. And they said I wasn't going to play my senior year. And I did anyway, you know. That's where you remember me at the boys club, because I would go to the boys club, and that doctor said, he said, I don't think you're gonna play this year. And I looked at the doctor and I said, you ain't God. You can't tell me what I can do and what I can't do. And so I went to the boys club and I started pumping iron and just pumping iron and pumping iron. And when I got to the point where I could run, I would just run. You know, we'd run all the way down there to San Gabriel Park was open, and we'd run to San Gabriel Park and around the park and back and to the boys club and back and forth like that, just doing some road work, you know. And Coach Halsman had a real simple formula for us to follow, man. He said, you know, if you, 12, 7, 4, if you play 4 hours a day, 7 days a week, 12 months out of the year, you got a good chance of making this team, you know. And there was just so much talent, you know. And then when we played at Albuquerque High, I always think of the junior team that we had and went to the state championship game, and we lost to Manzano. And but when I was in junior college, I went to New Mexico Military Institute, JC, and I played down there with some great players, you know. But in our conference, off of that 74 team, there was 7 players off of that team in the conference, right? Roscoe Locke and Edward Hunt were at Odessa. Romo and myself were at New Mexico Military Institute, and Richard Jenkins, Jesse Cleaver, and Gandhi were all at New Mexico JC. And just off of our team, there was 7 players in our conference. You know, that was good.
Wow.
There was other players that were on that team that went other schools, you know, went to other schools. So there was more college players off of that, you know, and that was the thing, you know. And when I played
Let's
at
back
Neiman,
up a little bit.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Let's back up a little bit and bring your mom into the picture.
Okay, my
what
mother.
A part of you she is, and how inspirational your mom must have been.
Yes, I was the youngest kid in our family, and there was 5 of us, and we had a half sister, Maria. There was 6 children, and Sandra and I were the youngest, and so my mom, you know, we didn't have much, and my dad died when I was 9, right? And my mom raised us, and she sent me and Sandra to Catholic school and everything. You know, she's a seamstress over Sweetbriar. She used to do alterations and all that, you know. And we always had food. We always had clean clothes. We always had a nice house, a nice clean house, and everything like that. And Mom was everything to us, you know. She used to walk to Mass every morning to San Felipe Church, rain or snow or whatever. She walked every day over 7 o'clock Mass. And when I wanted a bike, and my dad had died, and I wanted a bike. I wanted one of those Schwinn bikes, purple, with banana seat and all that, you know, handlebars and all that. And I told my mom, I said, I want one of them Schwinn bikes with the sissy bar on it, you know, and all that, right? And she said, well, son, we're gonna have to save, because your dad died, and our income's different, and we're gonna have to save for 2 bikes, because I have to get you a bike and I have to get Sandra a bike, because it won't be fair to Sandra, you know. We'll get her a bike too. It's okay. So I'm gonna get me a bike. So the Duke City Lumber Company was right across the street from us, and just right over the fence, you know, the old Duke City Lumber Company. And I made friends over there with the guys at the Duke City Lumber Company, and I said, if you got any soft wood, throw it on over the fence to me, right? And so they did. So I started making Frankensteins, right? And I go down to Old Town, I paint them green, I put some screws in their neck and everything like that, you know. And I go down there to Old Town, and sit on the park bench down there and sell them for $10 a piece.
Wow.
They weren't very pretty or anything like that. And I think the tourists just bought them, you know, because it was a cute little kid selling Frankensteins down there, you know what I mean? And so I came a couple of months later, and I took out a pocket full of money, and I told my mom, I said, hey mom, look, I got enough for 2 bikes. And she goes, where'd you get that money? Lo robaste? She thought I stole it, right? I said, no, I'm making Frankensteins. She goes, Frankensteins? I go, yeah. She goes, let me see one. So I showed her, and she goes, you're selling these? And I go, yeah. And she gave me my mom had these real feminine, soft hands, right? And she puts her hand on my shoulder like that. She goes, you just keep carving me, bro. Just keep carving. And so that has always been my hobby all my life, and it turned out to be pretty good for me. But
Tell us that story now.
Okay. Well, my mom got killed in 1984 by a drunk driver, right? And it was just, it was just too much for me to handle. My brothers and sisters dealt with it the way they did, but it really affected my life and how I saw things. And yeah, and I just started carving, and I just painting and carving and ran into, different santeros and santeras, Charlie Carrillo and Arlene Cisneros Sena and Victor Goler and Arthur Lopez and, Alcalde Ortero and Federico Prudencia. Just a bunch of different santeros and santeras just became friends. It was like a God thing, right? Like all of a sudden there's these people in my life and I'm learning how to old formulas, traditional formulas of how to mix paint and how to mix gesso and how to make homemade trementina, learning all these different things, and so I got to do that, and it was amazing because I started winning ribbons. I started winning. Sometimes I would win a ribbon, and sometimes I wouldn't, and people started liking my art, and I would get to sell my art, and it's something I love to do. And when I carve and when I paint, I pray. That's what I do. I'll think of people. Someone will come to my mind, that's having a hard time or lost somebody in their family, or they may be ill or something like that, and I'll just start praying for them when I carve and pray. And so I've been very blessed and very fortunate that the Lord gave me the ability to be creative with my mind to spread good news. And I never look at it like, I look at a successful piece like this. If I make a piece and if for 1 second, 2 seconds, if somebody looks at something that I made and they thought about God for that very short time, even for that very short time, and I said, wow, I was successful.
Wow. They're beautiful, Adan.
Thank you.
Before we go, give us your website. Give us a phone number, however you want people to communicate with you. What we just had on the screen was the most beautiful santeros I've ever seen. Congratulations.
Thank
wow,
you, man.
Look at that. Look at that.
Yeah. Just, I'm on Facebook, Art of Adan Carriaga. That's it. Get a message, and I'm just very blessed, very, very fortunate to have this.
And where do you market your product? Locally, nationally, worldwide, where?
Just by word of mouth, right? But I do it on Facebook, and then I have this friend in Germany, right? His name's Hans Digger, right? And he had this Facebook page called Art Worldwide, right? It's Hans Digger, and so I asked him one time. I said, "Hey Hans, man, let me post some of my art on there, And he goes, "Oh, it might be kind of religious for a lot of people, man, but let's try it. If somebody complains, we'll have a conversation later." And so I kind of just wrote something, how New Mexico traditional art's made and everything like that, and I put it on there. Nobody ever complained, so I just kept putting pictures up there of different things, and I was very fortunate that people from Europe started finding some of my art. Some people in Rome, and some people in Paris and Madrid, and in England, London, England, and stuff like that. So I was very blessed. And then I met this one doctor, right? And he goes, "Hey, can you make me a St. Francis?" I said, "Sure, man." And I go, "Where's that going to go?" And he goes, He goes, I'm a doctor at the Vatican, and I want to make a St. Francis for St. Francis for Pope Francis. And so he took it down there and he gave it to the Pope, you know. So I was like, wow, you know, that's very, 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 very. It was very much an honor, you know, very much, very humbling, very much an honor. But this little guy from Sawmill.
You know, a guy we all love and we know well, Dr. Ron Maestas from Las Vegas, New Mexico. He adores your art, and he's a great man.
He's a good
You're
man.
in his book, or maybe all 4 of his books.
Yeah, I'm in a few of his books. I'm in a few of other books too, and it's I don't even know how that happens. It's just like I say, it's a God thing. All of a sudden, I'm somewhere and I meet somebody and they say, "Hey, I'm gonna write a book and use some of your art," and I go, "Sure, man, why not?" You know.
Hey, I'm going to ask you the most important question in your life. Describe your beautiful wife for us all.
Cesar Santana Carriaga. I'm blessed. I'll tell you that much right now. That is the most beautiful and most spiritual and kindest and loving person, human being that I've ever met in my life. And I met her on Facebook. Right? I met her. I was posting pictures on Hans Digger's Facebook page, you know, Art Worldwide, and there's people from all over there, Japan and Europe and South America and Canada, and there's just artists from all over the world, and they're networking on there, right? And so this lady used to like my page and all that, right? And so, you know, I'll make a comment, she'd make a comment, and she speak Portuguese, I speak Spanish and English. Somehow we understood each other. And then one day we started talking pretty much, man, for about 2 years, man. We talked pretty regular, you know, on Messenger and stuff like that. But you couldn't see a video yet on Messenger, right? Or just talk. So I didn't even know what she looked like. She didn't know what I looked like or nothing like that. And we became good friends. We became real good friends. And I was telling her, I said, "Oh, you might try to contact me Friday, but I won't be around because I walk every year. I go over here to Santuario and I walk every Good Friday, you know." And she goes, "What is that?" And so I was explaining it to her, and she goes, "Wow, how many people walk?" And I go, "A lot, maybe 13,000, maybe more. I don't know, but a lot of people walk." And she goes, "Wow, we have one like that in Brazil, Nuestra Señora de la Aparecida, where 1 million people walk." I go, "1 million people?" She goes, "Yeah." I go, 1 million. She goes, "Yeah." And they have this big old cathedral, man. It's like seats like 5,000 people, and they have mass 24 hours a day, and they just keep walking, just keep going, keep going, keep going. I said, "Dang, man." And so I said, "Well, I would really like to experience that someday." And so about a few days later, man, she called me. She goes, "Oh, I told my mom about it, and they're old school, you know, so families involved. They're very family oriented, you know, Brazilians." And she goes, "I told my mom, and my mom said to invite you to come and walk with us."
Wow.
Really? So I went to Brazil, and then I seen Cesar. I go, "Wow, she's really beautiful, you know. She's a beautiful human being, but her earth suit is really beautiful too." And so, you know, we walked, and that was our first date. We walked up there, that mountain up there, to the old church, Nuestra Señora de la Aparecida. And man, I'll tell you what, man, that was an experience. It's just an experience, you know. It doesn't matter what faith people are or all that, you know. But when you go to a place like that, and there's 1 million people walking with a singleness of purpose and praying at the same time, that's kind of a hard thing to explain how you feel at that moment. You know, it's just wonderful. I imagine the Camino in Spain and stuff like that is like that too. You know, there's just different things like that. Yes, sir.
As we wrap up here in our final minute, I've really respected you every day that I've ever known you, all of that time, several years. We played till midnight, 1 a.m. at the boys' club with all your Bulldog buddies. And man, you were the greatest rebounder I ever knew then. Plus, you could score and tough. One time I went up for a rebound with you late at night, and you threw me out of there with a elbow, and I said, man, I respect this guy. He came to play. It wasn't personal.
No.
You know, you might even help me up off the floor. It's just the attitude you have as a combatant in an athletic event. That's the way you've been. You're a fierce competitor. I've always loved that about you, and I've always enjoyed our friendship. Thank you for being on the Henry T. Show today. What's your final comment?
I just want to, I'm just grateful for where I grew up at. You know, I still live here, you know, and it was the greatest education I had. And the competitiveness in me is not to compete with anybody else. I just compete with myself. I want to be better than I was yesterday. You know, whatever it is I'm doing. If it's art, I want to be better. I want to make a better piece than I did yesterday. If it's basketball, well, I want to be a better basketball player than what I was, you know. And I like defense too. I used to tell the guys, I told you one time, I used to tell the guys we'd be playing against another basketball team, and I say, hey, bro, don't put that ball down in front of me. I'm going to take it. I'm a thief. I'm from the valley, man. And they'd be dribbling. I'd be intimidating them, right? They'd be dribbling. I said, don't put that ball down. I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it. And so I'd make them so nervous. I would take it and I'd just pass it, you know, to Romo or pass it to one of the other guys, you know. And, you know, but, you know, God bless you and God bless everybody, you know. Just spread love, man. That's all. That's our only purpose here on the planet, man. Just spread love.
God bless you, Adan. Thanks for being on my show today. We're going to do it again.
Okay, let's do it.
Soon.
Let's do it.
Okay.
God bless you, man. Have a good one, brother. Love you, man.
Love you, Adan. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Wow. Adan Carriaga. 1 in a million.
The virus that causes COVID-19 and other pathogens are reminders that bad air can kill. You want protection to keep you healthy and give you peace of mind, but you won't settle for just any protection. You want the best out there. Active Pure. The Active Pure system has origins in the NASA space program. It's even been inducted into the Space Foundation Hall of Fame. Active Pure is used daily by hospitals, schools, sports arenas, restaurants, government buildings, homes, and more. So how does it work? The Active Pure system dispatches invisible supercharged submicroscopic particles at tremendous speed. The particles collide with viruses, bacteria, and other nasty things and immediately turn them into harmless byproducts. Active Pure works immediately on both air and surfaces. It comes in portable units built for any space, from gigantic ballrooms to elevators. It's affordable, easy to install, and virtually maintenance-free. It's like invisible personal protective equipment, or PPE, for you and your pets. Sounds too good to be true? Independent FDA-compliant lab testing has shown that within minutes, Active Pure neutralizes more than 99.9% of pathogens, including the virus that causes COVID-19. The Active Pure Medical Guardian, powered by the same Active Pure technology as our other products, has been cleared by the FDA as a Class II medical device. There's only one Active Pure. Beware of claims for other systems like HEPA, bipolar ionizers, and UV light. They're passive and slow. Some trap pathogens, but don't destroy them. In fact, many of them are so dangerous people can't even be in the same room while they operate. No system cleans the air faster, safer, or more effectively than Active Pure. To give your family and your customers peace of mind, choose Active Pure, protecting lives with air you can trust. To get Active Pure for your home, office, store, or organization, contact your local distributor.
or surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.